All right, you are on the platform. We're about to talk to the woman who has had some success in getting a controversial artwork removed from the Suter Art Gallery in Nelson. It's an artwork that's been shown elsewhere and is derivative of a piece back in the 90s in the United States, a piece that had a New Zealand flag on the floor with the words, "Please walk on me," on it. I'd like to see Stuart Nash get through the discussion without dropping an F-bomb for once. So would I, Joanna, and that will be made clear to him. All right, as we have learnt this morning, yesterday, the Suter Art Gallery in Nelson withdrew from public display a piece of installation art by a woman called Diane Prince, which featured a New Zealand flag with an invitation to walk on that flag. This piece of artwork has been shown elsewhere around the country, but it seemed for some reason to attract particular controversy at the Suter Art Gallery and offended many New Zealanders, including many members of the RSA and many of you. We were heartened yesterday, or many were heartened yesterday, to learn that a woman from Nelson called Ruth Tipu had been going into the exhibition and picking up the flag off the floor and hanging it over another piece of the installation every day because she thought it deserved more respect. Now we find the Suter has, it says because of safety concerns for its staff and visitors, clearly suggesting that Ruth is somehow a threat. It's withdrawn this obnoxious piece of art from public display. Well, the woman who created this change at the Suter is Ruth Tipu, and she joins me by phone right now. Ruth, kia ora, good morning to you.
Yeah, kia ora.
Hey, Ruth.
Hello.
How did you feel when you heard the news yesterday that that the Suter had taken the exhibition down?
I felt so good. I think it was like more. I just felt like I'd given it my best, and it had been taken, away, and so I just felt like I felt really good.
So, Ruth, how many times did you go into the art gallery and pick the flag up off the floor?
I only went down there 3 times, but it was from when I first heard it. I heard about that it was down there, so I heard that it was down there on Monday, and I went down there first on Monday and picked it up, and I put it up on the
trig thing. Piece. There's a kind of there was a framework of sticks, yeah.
There was, and there was a lady that came in and she said, "Oh, hold on a minute, what are you doing?" And we had like a very brief discussion, and she said, "Do you realise that the piece that you're putting it on, it's actually a European piece that represents part of the European. So if anything, she said you're demonering the flag even more." And I said, "Oh well, as long as it's up off the ground, I don't care what sticks it on. It looks like a pole to me, so it can hold up the flag." And then I left, and then I went back down the next day with my workmate Kate, and we put it up again. And then I went down the next day, and I said to the lady, I said, if it's on the ground again, I'm just going to keep coming down here and picking it up. But I didn't threaten anyone, or I didn't, say it. Like,
who was the woman you were talking to? Was it the same person each time?
No, it was. I only talked to 2 different ladies. So the first, I think they were just workers. I didn't actually get their names.
And you weren't aggressive. You just said, "I'm doing something that I believe in."
Yeah, and I just told her, my koro died for this flag, and I he went to war for this flag, and it's my flag as well. And because I've seen on the media post, a lot of people have been telling me, they're like, "That's not your flag, you're a Māori," and I'm like, I'm a Māori, and I whakapapa to Germany and to Scotland and to art like that. That's just as much my flag too as the Māori flag is. And I said, man, I would hate to see our Māori flag on the ground with the same thing. I would go down there and pick that up too. And I think there's been a big conversation around, that it's not my flag, but I think people don't even know where I come from either, or, that I'm a proud New Zealander, and that I know that for me, the New Zealand flag represents 2 people coming under one flag, with one faith and our one nation. And I think, that has just caused a big...
well, Ruth, you got pretty famous pretty quickly, didn't you?
Yeah, it does. Yes.
What did you think? Look, can I ask you, what did you think? I first learned about you through a piece in Stuff, I think it was, or Radio New Zealand, and they wanted to
Yeah.
point out that you were a member of a couple of different groups, including Destiny Church. Was that part of what you did or not?
What's that?
Being a member of Destiny Church or anything? Because I think they were in a snide kind of journalist way trying to make you look like an outsider or an extremist.
Yeah. Oh, to be honest, it didn't. I didn't really bother me at all. Like I'm a proud member of Destiny Church. I love my church. I love my pastors and even my apostle Brian Tamaki, and the changes I've made in my life. But it wasn't at all like anything anyone forced me to do. Through my church, it was. More I heard about it and I was like, oh, heck no, the flag's not on the ground, and I was like, man, my koro went to war and he was in the Māori battalion, but even his gratitude that he had, because he's passed away now, but he had for our country. He was such a Kiwi, big believer in our Māori people and our European people coming together. And I think that's in my blood too. I'm like, far out, we might not agree with everything that's in the government and everything that's happened to our Māori people in the past, but I'm not going to live from that hurt place, or I'm not going to, set my kids up to say, oh, all of this hurt, so we got to carry that into our future. I'm like, no, that's not us. Our future is that.
I hear you, Ruth. Well, Ruth, there was going to be some sort of protest today. Were you going to take part in that?
Definitely, yes. And it wasn't going to be a violent one. I think I read that the Suter had felt, safety, like for safety reasons.
It's called cry bullying when organisations do that.
I thought, oh man, no way was, we were going to go down there and start raging, and we've never done anything like that. But we're just gonna stand there with our flags up, and
okay, and you've called that off. Or not?
Well, because I'm not sure if the flag actually been, if the art piece has actually been taken. So I thought, might go have a look.
Yeah, and I must admit, I read this story, and it says they've removed it from public view.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if that means they've taken it down or not.
So I don't know if they just... Because it wasn't when you walk into the art gallery, it was a piece it was right in the middle of one of the art rooms. So I don't know if they meant they've just taken it and put it with a glass behind a glass or something, or
Well, how could you walk on the flag then if they've got it behind the glass?
Yeah, so I thought I might go down actually and have a look on my way when I go drop my kids off, just to see.
Good on you, Ruth. So do we know if today's protest has been cancelled or not?
I'm not 100% sure until I'll go and check to see if it's down or not.
Okay, and who was organising that, Ruth?
We were, so me and Martin Daly.
Okay, and he's from Destiny?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, and that's not illegal. Though desecrating the New Zealand flag or defacing the New Zealand flag actually is a crime, Ruth. Who knew?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
And I actually heard, was it Rohan on yesterday, even saying about how he'd want to stand on the flag just to get
He just said he'd consider it and he wouldn't have a problem with other people doing it.
Yes, I thought I thought, man, he should try it on the 25th of April when at the dawn parade service, and just see how the war veterans, they might give him an invigorating feeling.
I got criticised for not asking him, Ruth, whether or not he'd be happy with an exhibition that invited people to walk on the rainbow flag or the Maori flag.
Yes, well.
How would you feel about walking on a rainbow flag or the Maori flag?
I wouldn't walk on any flag. I'm just like, it doesn't matter. Like, to me, I feel like that the flag, the flag's got more history, and every flag carries a history of where it's been hurt or where it's been tainted or where things have happened, but it's still a flag that represents whatever country, or like the pride flag, and that it still represents something. So I wouldn't, me personally, I'm like, nah, it's a straight up no. I wouldn't walk on any flag, for no reason, you know. Even if someone tried to force me to, I'd be like, oh, no, thank you. My values are higher than that, you know. I just wouldn't
I
do
hear you,
it.
Ruth. Ruth, can I ask
Yes.
what sort of reaction have you had in Nelson, in your community, to what you've done?
Yeah, I like a good one. I think it's been 90% good and 10% just a lot of people just telling me, I don't know who I am, but I'm just like, I'm confident in who I am. No one else's opinion matters but my own.